Consciousness is a seesaw of awareness, balanced within the universe of your mind. The mind's eye balances between thought and the subconscious. Consciousness defines our humanity.
Note, not all definitions in this prompt are rigorous or watertight in a truly mathematical sense. Indeed, some are perhaps oversimplified and technically may be slightly too generalized and may be prone to slight erroneousness. But I suggest that with the proviso that my methods should be indulged for now, so as to not make this prompt too complicated and resource and time-consuming, albeit allowing a risk of erroneousness to creep in, as this is just a prototype prompt, so to speak, which can be more exactly defined later after several edits and myriad iterations, I'm sure. Imagine, if you will, a hypothetical glass sphere, like a transparent clairvoyance crystal ball that represents my mind. Inside this sphere we see a seesaw which has a very luminescent white-faced clock 24-hour as its fulcrum. This clock has extremely well-shaped large black hands. A completely spherical human eyeball, which represents my hypothetical mind's eye, is shown here as a highly visible camera with the camera lens located at the eye's exact center, such that the lens points straight at the viewer always. Just above this eye's forward-facing lens, the word "minds" is inscribed on it in green flashing neon light. Below its forward-facing lens, the word "I" is inscribed in the same green flashing neon light. Note, this mind's eye spherical camera's motion is directly dictated by the raising and lowering of either of its ends, and such that this camera is inert at the exact midpoint of the seesaw when both ends are on exactly the same horizontal alignment. That is, the whole seesaw is at the exact same height. This corresponds to the time period within the 24-hour day when I am both half asleep and half awake, catnapping in effect. Let's call this position 1. The camera can stop for any time duration less than or equal to the 24 hours. That is, if I were to die or go into a coma or similar. It can stop at any point on the seesaw. It can roll west to east or in reverse direction, only along a totally straight line along the total length of the seesaw. Thus we can call these positions indeterminate for now, for the sake of brevity and simplicity, shall we say. The seesaw is constructed in such a way that the camera cannot ever fall off it in any direction nor levitate. At one end of the seesaw there is a wall labelled "Conscious" containing a bright red flashing neon sign. At the other end is a wall labelled "Subconscious" containing a bright red flashing neon sign. These walls act as buffers that prevent the camera from moving anywhere but back the way it came, or the camera can just sit at the wall. For instance, when I'm in a coma, dead, drunk maybe, or in a deep sleep. So consequently we can conclude that when neither end is raised, this mind's eye spherical camera is totally inert. That is, our mind's eye is at rest when we are half asleep and half awake. The front or longest edge, which is always visible to the viewer, is marked exactly like a 24-inch ruler. But these numbers are actually the hours in a 24-hour cycle. That is, they are the actual hours in a complete clock rotation or cycle in effect. One day has passed when the camera travels from one end of the seesaw to the other by definition, as this model reflects the amount of time I am asleep and awake in total during one whole day by definition. So, with the higher numbers in the set starting on the left, subconscious end of the seesaw reading from left to right along this edge, and the higher numbers terminating at the right conscious end of the seesaw, where each day's end is obviously the next day's start.